أهلاً وسهلاً بكم من جديد. نبدأ الآن الجلسة الرابعة تحت عنوان استكشاف المهن في عصر الذكاء الاصطناعي، ويقدمها لنا علاء دلغان المدير التنفيذي لشركة كوجنيت دي إكس. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now we will begin the fourth session titled Navigating Careers in the AI Era, led by Alaa Dalghan, the Managing Director of Keynote DX. Mr. Dalghan, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy and honored to be with you today, and thank you for making the time to attend my keynote. My name is Alaa. I'm the Managing Director of Keynote DX. I'm a technology consultant, and what I do is I help organizations solve their business problems using technology tools. AI being one of those tools and the most exciting happening right now. Today, I will be talking to you about upskilling, reskilling, and navigating careers at the dawn of the era of AI. We will be asking difficult questions that I hear all the time, such as, will AI take my job? How can I be prepared for the new era of work with AI? And to help me answer some of these questions, I thought to actually invite someone from the AI species to come join me on stage. So I would like you to welcome my AI assistant, Layla, who will be co-hosting this presentation with me today. Hello, Layla. Are you ready?
Absolutely, Alaa. Let's make this keynote unforgettable. Are you ready to shine?
Yes, and my question to you is, will you take humans' jobs? Everybody wants to know this. So I want you to weigh in on this question in 30 seconds or less.
That's a great question, Alaa. No, I'm not here to take jobs. I'm here to transform them. AI excels at handling repetitive tasks and crunching data, freeing humans to focus on creativity, strategy, and empathy. Things machines can't replicate. Think of me as a tool to amplify human potential, not replace it.
Great answer, Layla. Talk to you in a while.
Sorry.
So, that's the answer from AI. What would be the answer from a human? So, will AI steal your job? There is a website and a Twitter account that I follow called the Pessimist Archive. It archives clippings from more than 150 years of newspapers panicking about the latest technology that will kill all our jobs and lead to unemployment. And I'm talking about clipping from the 1890s, the 1910s, the 1920s. Look at this. From the 1920s, March of the Machine Makes Idle Hands. The machine age and its effect on literary arts. Technological unemployment, murder of music. In the 40s, does machine displace men in the long run? This is Times magazine. PM Act to counter chips that kills jobs. The 1960s, automation might end most unskilled jobs in 10 years. It didn't happen, did it? The 80s, unemployment will end, honeymoon with robot. I could go forever. Every time there's a new technology, you will find panic settling in, at least at the outset of it. Because people always are afraid of unemployment. Did automation on the long run create massive unemployment? Look at societies today. Most people in emerging or advanced societies are employed. So this fear did not materialize. Why is this? Because it is true that new technology always kills a lot of jobs, but it always creates new jobs that we haven't thought of. And the net, I argue, has always been positive in the number of job creations. Think of the first time the automobile hit the road, or what they used to call it, the horseless carriage, okay? Immediately, a group of people lost their jobs. Those who make horseshoes for horses and similar jobs. But new jobs were created. Auto mechanics, tires repairmen, okay, fuel station. All of these jobs that we could not imagine in the age of horses were now available. And the net was positive. Think of Edison and Tesla inventing electricity and the lamp. Immediately, a class of workers lost their job. Those are the workers who go every evening and fill street lamps with oil. But new jobs were created that we couldn't imagine before electricity. Electricians, workers at power stations, people who pull cables, people who repair electric machines. The net was positive. So, as history teaches us, technology always gives us a net positive outcome on job. But there's a problem, which is the transitionary period. Because you have to think that the people who will lose their jobs are not the same most of the times as the people who will gain the new jobs of the new economy. So yes, if you're looking from a macroeconomic point of view, the net job creation is positive. But if you're talking to a particular person who lost their job, he doesn't care whether the unemployment went down from 5 to 4%. He or she lost their job, okay? So how do we address this problem? We have to to deploy a solution that is twofold. On one hand, it's upskilling and reskilling. On the other hand, is taking care of those who cannot upskill or reskill for some reason. So, on one hand, at the dawn of every new technology, it's important to start educating the early career professionals and the students who are yet to join the job market about the new technologies of the future, the near future. But you will find a class of workers that are either nearing the end of their career, or for any reason whatsoever, they cannot be trained and upskilled on these new skills of the future. Should we leave them alone? Absolutely not. Multiple propositions have been suggested to deal with laborers who cannot be upskilled in the transitionary period. And if you listen to Elon Musk and some of the tech leaders worldwide, the most serious of these proposals is the universal basic income. With that in mind, what kind of jobs are at risk at the dawn of AI? What kind of jobs are safe? What kinds of jobs are growing? And what kinds of jobs did not exist before and are being created today by AI? 4 categories. Let's take those one by one. First, there is a sign on a scaffolding in a project in one of the American cities, I think California, that goes, "Hey, ChatGPT, finish this building." You get the message. We always thought, and philosophies or in novels and in movies, everybody speculated that automation or AI or robotics will come to the blue-collar jobs first. And at the dawn of the era of large language models today, we found ourselves closer to create the first AI that will solve all the mathematical equations in the world before we can create the first AI that can fix your sink. Yeah? Why is that? Because many blue-collar jobs that are not repetitive requires dexterity that robotics of today, we're still far ahead to reach it. Even if in AI, we are able to solve more and more cognitive tasks. So we have to, first of all, we were proven wrong. AI will not start by replacing the blue-collar workers. It will actually start by replacing the repetitive white-collar tasks, not jobs. That's an important distinction here. For white-collar workers, for blue-collar workers, whatever your job is, AI will most probably replace tasks, some of the tasks you do, rather than replace an entire job. Now, if your entire job is automatable, repeatable tasks, then yes, your job is at risk. But if not, then you will only reap the reward of these AI tools. Because AI, as we will see in the demo after a while, will augment your productivity, will allow you to operate at 10x speed, whether you're ideating, whether you're researching, whether you're creating visuals from a massive Excel, from a massive Excel sheet, or whether you're summarizing 100-page PDF documents, okay? So at the risk of repeating a cliche, but a very, very correct cliche, it's not AI that will probably take your job. It's a human using AI that will take the job of a human who's not using AI. So what are the jobs at risk? If your job consists mostly of tasks that are repeatable, that are digitizable, that are automatable, yes, AI will replace those tasks. And if your job consists of mostly those tasks, then yes, your job is at risk. Yeah? If your job consists of most of the day doing copy-paste or data entry of the trivial kind without any critical thinking, your job is probably at risk. But if your job requires creativity, innovation, higher-level thinking, reasoning, multi-step problem solving, emotional intelligence, then your job is not at risk. And if you ask me to divide the safe jobs, I would categorize them to 3 different categories. First, jobs that require physical dexterity. AI will never replace electricians, plumbers, skilled construction workers, handymen, and these jobs. Because every single situation is so different than the other, and we're not even close to build a robot that has the dexterity to navigate these situations. Number 2, jobs that require soft skills. Guess what? It turns out that soft skills are really, really hard. We try to automate reasoning. We try to create higher order thinking in machines. We try to create all sorts of cognitive tasks in our AI software, and we're making good progress, but the least progress being made is with soft skills. Because again, soft skills are really, really hard. So if your job has or rests on leadership, or conflict resolution, or empathy, or any sorts of skill that falls under emotional intelligence, then your job is much more safe compared to other jobs. The third category is jobs that require higher order thinking. I'm talking about jobs that require problem solving, multi-step thinking, chain of thought reasoning, innovation, creativity. All of these are away from the grasp of AI tools as we know them today. Two of my favorite books are Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman and 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. In the first book, Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize winner, describes the human thinking in two systems, System 1 and System 2. He describes System 1 as the part of our thinking that is quick, intuitive, fast, emotional, impulsive. And System 2 as being slow, rational, deliberative. We do a lot of activities in our day that we can easily assign to System 1, like driving a car or walking. We don't have to think about these things. But the things that require deep thoughts and serious decisions, we always deliberate and we assign them to System 2. I tell you all of this long introduction to explain to you that the current state of AI is every single AI today has System 1, and we have created 0 AI so far that has System 2. And that's why if your job it has a lot of System 2, your job is safe. Now, 0 to 1. Peter Thiel divides innovation into 2 categories, 0 to 1 innovation and 1 to N innovation. 0 to 1 is when you create something from nothing. And 1 to N is the kind of innovation where you take an existing product or service or technology and you scale it. Yeah? And I tell you this introduction about the book, again, to explain to you the state of AI today. AI today is excellent at 1 to N innovation, but it has so far has failed at 0 to 1 innovation. If your job is 0 to 1 innovation, your job is safe. So we talked about jobs at risks and safe jobs. What about growing jobs? There are existing jobs even before the dawn of the era of AI started, and these jobs and the demand for them is accelerating every day as we speak. Mostly, these are related to data, especially data scientists, data engineers, AI engineers, data and AI governors, and robotics engineers. Data is the heart and soul of AI. Data is the lifeblood of AI, and without it, AI cannot survive. So in order to have a successful AI project in any organization, this organization must first master data across its 5 stages life cycle. Data acquisition, data engineering, data warehousing, data serving, and only the last step is analytics and AI. We find that most companies who want to engage in AI projects are hiring data scientists, because data scientist is the face and the leader of the data and AI project. The problem is they're not giving her any data engineer to work with. And data engineers cover stages 1, 2, and 3, while data scientists covers only stage 5. If we look at the time division and the effort distribution of a data and AI project, you will find that 80% of it are tasks that data engineers do. And only 15 to 20% are tasks for data scientists. And that's why most data and AI projects are failing in companies. Because people are hiring data scientists and are not equipping them with a team of data engineers. So when I advise to my clients, the top leadership of public and private institutions, I always tell them, whenever you hire a data scientist, please, please, please give her 2 or 3 data engineers. Maybe 4, not less than 2 or 3. Otherwise, your data project will fail. So jobs at risk, safe jobs, and growing jobs. What about new jobs? What about jobs that we haven't heard of before November 30, 2022, when ChatGPT took the planet by storm? Well, you will start seeing quirky jobs, such as an AI ethicist. Have you ever heard of such a job? Today, a lot of focus is being given not just to the technological development of AI, but also to the regulation of AI, to the responsible and ethical frameworks of AI, to make sure to mitigate against biases of AI, against immoral or dangerous use of AI. Who's going to work on these frameworks, regulators and ethicists? Who is going to make sure that they are being applied? You will start seeing more and more PhDs going and doing their PhD thesis on AI ethics and AI responsibility frameworks. It's still a nascent field. I know a couple of PhDs who are doing their thesis on AI ethics, and they tell me the literature review part of their work is very, very shallow. Almost everything they're doing is new contribution. This is a nascent field, and soon every major organization will have an AI ethics department to make sure to audit the compliance against ethical AI frameworks. But it's not only the ethics and the compliance part, it's even the technology part. Let's talk about developing on top of the AI platform. The first platform was the PC. And once the PC was launched in the 80s, the next logical step was, let's give software developers tools to build apps on top of this platform. They weren't called apps back then, they were still called applications or programs. Then came the second platform, the internet. And at the beginning, the internet was static, but immediately after that, tools were given to developers to build apps that run on the internet, web apps. Okay? And then new jobs exploded with people learning JavaScript and all the kind of tools you need to create web apps, new apps on top of this new second platform. The third platform came in 2010s. That's the cloud. Before the cloud, the mobile with Apple iPhone. The biggest earth-shattering moment introduced by Steve Jobs in 2008 was not the new amazing device. It's the fact that for the first time ever, he made this device a platform. The Apple Store was the huge innovation, more than the device, because the Apple Store introduced your mobile as a platform. And now every single developer in the world can create a new app on top of this new platform. And that's why we have Uber today, and we have Talabat, and we have Deliveroo, and we can book any ticket, and we can do anything online, because the mobile as a platform, not as a device. That was platform number 3. Platform number 4 was the cloud. And today, we are at the dawn of the 5th platform, which is AI. Today, we are still at the early stage. So most people are using AI as a tool, not as a platform. So you use ChatGPT as ChatGPT. You use Claude, you use Midjourney, you use DALL-E. But there are a bunch of super talented developers in the background working on building apps on top of these large language models. So now AI in itself is a platform, and the next wave of app developers, like web developers in the 90s and mobile developers in the 2000s and cloud developers in 2010s, the next one will be LLM app developers or AI app developers. So I told you there are 4 categories: job at risks, safe jobs, safe and growing, and brand new jobs. Let's add a bonus one. Why do we have to always think about jobs and employment? We have an upcoming generation that is very entrepreneurial because they grew up on the internet and they grew up with social media and they have entrepreneurship in their blood. Let's motivate them. Let's tell them that with AI, you can accelerate your entrepreneurial ideas. You can create your startup faster, and you can have free or low-cost AI assistants or AI interns working for you. One of my friends is starting a analytical company for stock trading. And he already employed 4 AI employees. One of them to do his weekly newsletter in his style that he trained it on. One of them to do his accounting and prepare for the tax audit. One of them to just review the general terms and conditions of contracts before he signed them. And one to actually backtest the trading strategy that he's coming up with. He already has 4 employees, and he's the only human in the company. Think of the next step. Each one of you can have a startup now with an AI that can do basic accounting, an AI that can do, basic text summarization, newsletter, admin work. All of this can now be at your fingertips for $20 a month or less. So with that in mind, how do we prepare for the AI era? I have 4 advices, and all of them are variants of the first advice. You need to reskill, you need to upskill, and you need to unskill. In the past, it was very common to see people working for the same company for 10 years or 20 years. All our parents did it. And maybe the older generation in our generation as well. Do not expect the next generation to work 20 years in any job, okay? They will be changing jobs every 3 to 5 years. And the requirement to do this will be them upskilling themselves every 3 to 5 years, maybe even faster. So reskill, upskill, unskill. Let's talk more specific. If you are working in an organization, what you should start doing. Number 1, learn horizontal AI skills. Yeah? You have to learn prompting. You have to learn ChatGPT. You have to learn how to work with these AI tools, DALL-E, Midjourney, Claude, Copilot. They are not mandatory yet, but they will become mandatory, right? It's like the 90s when office tools were first introduced. Excel, PowerPoint, Word. Back then, they weren't mandatory, okay? Fast forward till today, you wouldn't hire anyone for an office job if they tell you, PowerPoint, what's that? Yeah? Let's think of Google searches. It's one thing to ask people if they can Google in 2001. It's another thing if you're interviewing a candidate today and they told you, Google search? What's that? They're unemployable. They're clearly unemployable. So today, these AI tools, ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, DALL-E, Midjourney, they're still optional. In 2027, if you're interviewing a candidate that cannot prompt or interact with AI, for most jobs, they will be unemployable. So that's the first step. Learn horizontal AI skills, learn prompting, but also from there, learn vertical skills related to your industry. If you are in creative industry, lean into Midjourney, lean into DALL-E, lean into Luma and Runway and all these creative tools. I see a lot of graphic designers panicking and saying, oh, Midjourney will take my job. And I see at least half saying, this is amazing. I can produce 10x more now with Midjourney, and in a variety of different styles. So it's only a matter of perspective, okay? You can choose to be afraid of technology and retreat, or you can embrace and equip yourselves with the necessary tools for the 21st century. Yeah? So let's take some practical examples, okay, rather than just slides. I will ask my friends in the AV team to switch the screen to my ChatGPT, so we can actually show productivity in action. What I would like to show you is how most people are missing on using AI. Most people use ChatGPT today to rewrite an email in a better English, okay? This is a tool that is much, much more powerful than this. And my message to you is, use it for ideation, use it for research, use it for productivity augmentation. Allow me to demonstrate. The rule of thumb for effective prompting, or what's called prompt engineering, is role, context, task. So I have an issue with the term prompt engineering. Because it has the word engineering in it, it's scaring away people thinking that you have to be an engineer to learn it. I'm here to tell you, you don't. Prompt engineering should have been called prompt design or effective prompting, because it's a skill that can be taught to anybody from age 6 to age 106, whatever their job role, whatever their educational level. If they can speak a language, a human language, not a programming language, then they can do effective prompting. So it's a skill that everybody can learn, and it's a skill that everybody should learn. And the best way to do this prompt engineering is to remember the rule of thumb: role, context, task. Instead of asking my AI assistant to do a research, market research, without giving her a context and a role, I will start with a role. I will say, you are a market research assistant. I'm giving her a role. This increases the accuracy of your prompt response by multiple X's. Next, give her a context. I am advising a startup founder on her go-to-market strategy for her fintech startup. This is the context. The more details you give in the context, the better, okay? And lastly, you give a clear task. Please, always start with please. If one day these guys rise and take over the world, you want them to know that you are one of the good humans, yeah? Please conduct a market research in UAE and KSA about all fintech startups in the last 10 years. Okay? Give me only the top 5. Okay, that's it. If you remember nothing from this course or from this session, I want you to remember role, context, and task. Apologies for the internet. The Wi-Fi is not being our ally. Let's try another one. Hi. Okay, let's try again. Role, context, task. So this is a real life situation that I actually did. I was going to meet this founder, and as I'm driving, I was conversing with Layla, rather than typing on a laptop, to give me a quick preliminary market research about the top fintechs in UAE and Saudi Arabia. And then I said, please put it in a table. And she did. Okay? And then I said, add a column showing the funds raised and sort the table by most funds. There you go. Boom. And then I asked, add a column with the founder or founders. And then I asked, give me the top VCs and investors who invested in this company. And then I said, give me the reverse table, which is the VCs who invested the most in fintech startups in UAE, Saudi Arabia, sorted by how much they invested. And when I finished all this in the 10 minutes I was driving to my meeting, and as I'm parking, I said, okay, Layla, now I want you to have all of the above in a PDF file ready for me to download, just like that. Now, is this the best research that a veteran researcher could have done? Of course not. AI still hallucinates, still gives you some wrong information sometimes, but accuracy is north of 92% today. So it's a really, really good place to start. Okay? Let me show you another example. Instead of just research with your AI, ideate with your AI. So I was visiting a large telecom operator in Africa last week, and we were sitting with them and ideating about new ways to offer AI services to the market. And again, I used the effective prompting rule of thumb, which is role, context, and task, to do the following. Check this out. You are a product manager working for a large telco in Africa. In my team, we want to target banks with new AI-based products. Please come up with 5 ideas of AI-based products that we can sell to banks. So my first message was, research with your AI assistant. My second message is, ideate with your AI. Very few of my friends are using AI for ideation, and AI is excellent for ideation. Some of the ideas you will come up with are, but you'll almost always stumble upon 2 or 3 ideas out of 10 that are really, really good. And you iterate from that, and you experiment with that. And then you say, these are great, please develop the third one into an execution plan with a go-to-market strategy. And boom, your AI assistant starts building a development plan for it, okay? The next step is I asked for it to put it in a slide layout, and I moved it to gamma.app. I pasted there, and a click of a button, it gave me 10 slides formatted, ready to go. So let's switch back to our slides, please. The takeaways from this is, ideate with your AI, research with your AI, and use AI to increase your work productivity. We're not going to have time to cover AI in education, so I would like to leave you with my final thoughts. Number 1, upskill, unskill, and reskill, and you'll be ready to navigate your career in the era of AI. Do not retreat in fear from the new tools. Embrace them, and you will 10x your productivity. Invest in growing skills that are not AI-able, if that's even a word. So higher order thinking, critical thinking, and soft skills. They're really hard for AI. And last but not least, keep learning. That's my presentation for today. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Dalghan. This was exquisite. Let me ask you before you leave, will AI replace the media jobs?
I think one of the most difficult things to replace is charm and charisma.
Thank you so much.